Hey everybody! So this is going to be a follow-up video to the video I just did recently showing this full-size R2-D2 from Home Depot. This is the Christmas decoration R2 that came out in 2025. Oh my gosh, this thing is so cool. I've had it for a few days now and I'm still just blown away by how amazing this is. In the video I said I think this was 90% full size, but I don't know, the more I'm looking at this, I kind of think the whole thing is full size because I asked Alexa how tall R2-D2 was and this one measures exactly the same size. Alright, so I got some upgrade parts that I bought, so let's check those out. So these are what I've got. Now I ordered these from a seller on Etsy called Junkdroids. Seems to make some really nice parts here. So this is a kit that was I think $115 for all these pieces. So this piece here is the little grill piece that goes on the back of R2's head where the logic lights are. I suppose if you're electronically inclined you can probably put some lights in behind there, but I'm just going to put the grill piece because it'll just look nicer than that plain silver part that they got on there now. These are some stickers that you can put on his logic lights on the front. You can choose between these ones or these ones. I think I'm going to go with these. They look more interesting. They just go directly on top of the blue light that's on there just to make it look more accurate to the original R2. These are covers that go on his legs. When you put the big bolt in there to fasten the legs to the body, this will cover up that hole. So that's really nice, all 3D printed. This is a restraining bolt. It looks very cool. Comes with this magnet that you're going to stick on the inside using this double stick tape that's included. And then this will stick on there. So that looks really good. These are connector pieces for R2-D2's hoses on his feet. On his two side feet, there's those hoses. It should have these little knurled connectors on there. So these are made to fit those. And then these are stickers for his feet as well. He should have these little silver highlights on there. So these ones are for the middle leg, and then these are for the back of the side legs, and these are for the front. You can see there's holes in there, so that those will accommodate where those little things right there go. Now this piece here is a piece that was made for, it's to correct R2-D2's head bobbing. In the first video I showed, you can after I'm done, activating him, you can see his head kind of going side to side, kind of in a jerky motion. I think that's a problem that all of these R2s have. So this is supposed to fix it. You're supposed to take out the old piece that's in there and put this in here. So we'll try that out. Now this is the part that I kind of screwed up on when I ordered these. I didn't realize I ordered the wrong ones. Okay, so pardon little emo in the background making noise. He's doing some knitting. So here is the hollow projectors on R2. You can see he's got 3 of them. And I want to replace these because I don't like this white or tannish color on here. I only remember R2 either having these as being black or silver. And I suppose I could just paint those. It's really not that big a deal. But they should also have a knurled edge on that like these. See how there's got the, if I can get out of the light here, it's got the knurled edge. Now, I mistakenly ordered just the tips of these where you can take these out, and I guess these are just screwed in, and you can pop this off and put this in its place, which would look better. But I intended to order, Junkdroids makes the full eyepiece, including, this and the sleeve that goes around, and it'll actually turn. So I didn't realize I ordered the wrong one, so I got to wait for those to come in. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and replace these as well. All right, well, let's get started on some of these upgrades. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with putting the stickers on for these 2 logic lights right here, which looks like this. Now, I did trim this down to the very end so we don't have any carrier film on there because I don't know if there was any. Now, Matt, the gentleman who makes all these parts, recommends that you use some soapy water to kind of spray on there first, and that way you can kind of move the sticker around. So I'll put a little bit of water on there, and then we'll put the sticker on. Okay, now I don't think it matters which way these go on because the lights are kind of all over the place on R2. So let's see if we can put this on. I can get my vision and bearings right here. So they are stickers, but the water allows you to move things around a little bit. See, I need to kind of, hopefully I'm still in camera here, but I do need to look at this at a better angle. And so you can move this around. Let me see, I don't want to poke the sticker by accident. But let me see. See if I can shift that around a little bit better. Okay, sorry, I had to turn his head so I could look at it. And I don't know, I'm not sure I got this in the right spot. But because you got that water on there, it allows you to move this around. I need to get it better in this corner. Let me see. It's a little bit tricky to get them just right. Oh, okay, that looks like it might be a little bit low there, huh? Well, let me see if I can shift this out around. Oh, actually, that looks pretty good. I don't know, it looks like the sticker might be a little bit larger than the space. Let me mess around with that a little bit. Okay, so I think I got it about as centered as I'm going to get it. I'm going to use a little toothpick just to kind of push in those corners, because the sticker is actually a little bit bigger than the opening right here. But you got to be careful not to push on it too much. You don't want to tear it. But I think these are vinyl stickers, so they got a little bit of, you know, toughness to them. And this one in the corner right here. Okay. All right, let me take a napkin here and just kind of dry this off. All right, I think we'll go and let that one settle. Okay, now let's go and do the one on top. All right, so that already looks a lot better right there. All right, so now let's get these ones down here on the feet. Okay, now these ones should be a little bit easier because I'm not having to work in such a tight little spot. So once again, let's spray the little bit of this soapy water on here. All right. And then we'll use these. Make sure you use the right ones. They're the wider ones here. So we peel this off like so. Ooh, these are nice and silvery too. And then we'll just kind of put it on. I guess I'll start from the bottom here to make sure it's lined up on the edge. And then, so these are a little bit narrower than the actual, you know, piece that's on there, the part that sticks up right here. So you're gonna have to try to even it out. And I guess all those years of putting stickers on Lego sets are going to come into play here. All right, well, let me see if I can get this even on both sides. Okay, so hopefully I got this on here right. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah, that looks pretty decent actually. Get my napkin to kind of buff this down or burnish it down a little bit. Okay. Actually, that looks really good. I didn't really realize how much of a difference that already is making. All right. Okay, so let's do the side feet because those are a little bit different. Okay, now these ones are going to be a little bit trickier because of where these hoses are. Now the one I showed you earlier, you can see these holes are already pre-cut out, so that's the ones that's going to go there. So these just pull off like this. All right, and then, let me see, I may have to move those out of the way a little bit. Actually, let's just pull them completely off because they come off the, I'm sorry, my arm's in the way there. Let me pull these completely off like this. I know some people are using different hoses for these. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to need, well, I may need to spray this because I don't know if it's going to be harder to put these on. So let's go and peel this off. And I hope those holes, oh good, that comes right off like that. That's great. All right, just don't tear it, whatever you do. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, good, I'm glad the whole parts stay on there. All right, so now we just got this. And let's see, maybe I better use the X-Acto blade. Okay, so it's gonna be a little tricky to get the, get this on here with the holes. Oh, actually, maybe it might make it a little easier to line them up. Yeah. Oh, okay, oh, let's see, that one's a little bit sideways. Okay. Actually, the hose is going to cover up that area there if it's not perfect. But I do want to get that top edge straight. Okay, that looks better. All right. Okay, so here we go. I got it on there now. I actually flipped it the other way, and I don't know if it makes a difference, but it does seem to have fit better this way. Now, there is going to be a seam right here where the two pieces go together, and it's going to be pretty visible. You saw it on the front wheel as well, and or the front foot. So, unfortunately, you are going to see that, especially because these are silver, and it shows up. But you know, for the most part, it looks really good. It looks a lot better. Okay, so that shows you how to put the stickers on. I'll do the ones behind the foot. There's another one back there. There's one behind the middle leg over here. That's going to be hard to reach. And then there's the ones on the other ones as well, or the other foot. All right, so while we've got the tubes off, we may as well go ahead and put these little things on here, the little knurled like connectors. Now, I will say it's not the easiest thing to get these on because you got to get them past the little ridges on here. And the edges on here are pretty sharp, so it's too bad they aren't rounded. Well, I guess I could probably sand them down. But you got to keep it pushed in. You got to keep doing it till you get them pushed all the way to the end. Let me see if I can get this one on. But they're even harder to put on these, because I already put the other side on, and I fought with those for a long time. So, all right, well, let me see if I can get these on all the way, and I'll show you what I mean, because you don't want that much sticking out on the end. Okay, so I managed to get these on. I gotta tell you, these things are really hard to get on here. If Matt, if you're watching, maybe if you can make the edges of the silver part here that goes on the inside rounded on the edge, they'll fit a little bit easier, because those I really struggled with them. And maybe make these a little bit more open on the end. Okay, so I already attached these two, and amazingly, those went on pretty good, because the ones on the other side, boy, that was a different story. So the one that's the shorter tube goes in the nearest one here and to the top right there. So let's see if we can get this on compared to the other side, because the other side, I really struggled with it. And this one looks like it's not going to be any better. It's like the hole is too small on these. So I think what I'm going to have to do is the trick I used on the other side, and that is to take a napkin and wrap it around that so that you don't screw it up when you take a pliers, and put this on like this, and then just kind of twist it on like this. Push down. Push towards the foot while you're doing it. So, you know, that looks like there's still a little bit of a gap there. So you're gonna have to keep fighting with it until you get it on there all the way, because it should fit all the way to the end. Sorry, I'm at an awkward angle right here because I got the camera kind of where I need to be. All right, and then we'll just kind of twist it on there back and forth until you can finally get it on there good and tight. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, let me see if I can fight with it. I don't know. Let me see if this one will just go on. Nope, that one's going to be a fight too. All right, let me fight with those. Okay, so I got them on there now. Ooh, man, those were not pleasant to put on. And I honestly thought those would be one of the easiest things to put on there. But as you can see, they do look much, much better having those little silver things on there, and that silver tape kind of adds to it too. Unfortunately, that seam shows through, but it can't be helped just because of the way the whole thing is put together. And then I also got the ones on the back as well. So here's the back of them, and that one had a pretty bad seam on it, but you know, it looks good. Having that silver on there really does add a lot. And then that back foot, that one was really hard to get to because it's underneath. So if you decide to get this upgrade kit, I would definitely put these things on before you assemble R2. It'll be a whole lot easier when you're not trying to reach down in all these awkward areas. to do it, but you probably have a more open area to keep your R2 as well. All right, let's move on to these things. Okay, so here is those pieces, and you'll notice the shape of these where they stick out, where it matches the hole right here. It's got these little things that kind of stick out. So I'm guessing this just fits in there. So let's see if I can get it in here. And I'm guessing it just pushes into that hole. Oh yeah, it does. Ooh, now that fit pretty good. Ah, look at that. That looks really nice. So now you don't have that weird looking hole in there. Okay, that looks really good. Thank goodness that one fit. That fit perfect. All right, so now I'll do the other side and that'll complete that step. Okay, so it's a few days later now, and I got the correct hollow projectors that I had intended to buy. Shout out to Matt of Junkdroids. He ships these out pretty fast. And also, these are really nice hollow projectors. I like all the parts that he's been making. So you get 3 pieces per hollow projector. So you have the little section right here. And these are really nice. You can see they're nice and silver. And then this is the main section that kind of goes inside here. And then these will turn in here too, just like the real R2. And then this is the section that goes on the bottom. And let's see, these little notches here, one of these is bigger than the other 2. These are the 2 small ones. And then you'll just match up the holes here with the 2 small holes and the bigger one. And then it just goes on this way. All right, it just goes on like this. All right, and you can just glue these little tabs on here, which I'll probably do. And then that's the whole HoloLens. It's very, very cool. Now, originally I was just going to leave these silver, but I don't know. I was looking at different pictures of R2, and I mentioned it earlier in the video, but sometimes this little hood right here is black, and sometimes it's silver, and it seems like it's both either way. You know, of course, they had multiple R2-D2s, but I think I'm going to go ahead and paint this part black just to make it stand out a little bit better. So I think I'll do that for the 3. And then here's okay, now these little pieces are going to be for they're like the little tabs that are going to hold the one that's going to go on the top of the head to keep it from falling down. These will keep it from falling down. It's going to attach down here somehow. We'll take a look at it once I get R2's head back off. And then I also ordered the lights that Matt recommends to use on these. Now, I'm not going to make mine light up. I got these from Amazon from his link, and I'll put a link in my description if you want to get these lights, but they fit perfectly in these that he's made for his R2. So you put them in here. Let me see, and you have to get it just right because it's got to be straight. Let's see if I can get it in here now. Since I'm not going to use mine, I'm not worried about pulling the wires. All right, well, let's try this one. It's got to be in there absolutely straight, and then you can kind of push it in. There we go. All right, so once you get it in, it goes right in. So you can see the lens. Now, the only problem is I don't like that you can see all the electronics in there, but fortunately, let me see if I can get this one back out now, because I think I loosened this one. There we go. Now, what's really cool about these lights is the domes can unscrew. You can take the dome off, which is fantastic. So I was thinking originally just to put the dome in there by itself, and then it'll be dark inside so you can't see it, and I can do that, or if I still want to use this thing, the electronics can pop right off like that, and I can still use this frame, then put this back on, and then put the whole thing back inside of the projector right in here. And then that way, once it's in, here we go. See, it'll look like that, and I don't have to have the electronics showing. It's going to be dark back there anyway, but that might look kind of cool just the way it is. So since I just need the lens, that's all I'm going to get. But he made these to specifically work with these lights. All right, well, let's see. I think that's it for these. So I'm going to go ahead and get started painting these, and then we can start working on installing them. Okay, so I got R2's head back off now, so we're just going to go ahead and start with this while I'm waiting for those other pieces to dry. So we're going to replace it with this nicer grill piece. So this original one is just screwed in here with some Phillips screw heads, and it's kind of hard to reach in here because the edge of the dome makes it hard to get in here. But let me see if I can loosen these Well, this one here is already loose. This one here, a little bit harder to get to. Let me see if I can loosen that one. Okay, there we go. So now this should just pop off of here, just like that. I mean, this was just kind of a plain silver piece that you can see right there. So it's very cool, once again, that they made it so that we could change the parts out. So this one's going to go this way. This open area here is to accommodate these little things right here. So let's go ahead and put this one on. It goes on the same way as the original because it screws in the same way. So let me see. I guess it just sits on there like that. All right, so let me put the screws back on. All right, so now that is in place. So this is what it looks like on the other side. See, look at that. That looks so much better. And if you are good with lighting and stuff, you can put a bunch of those little blinky lights back there that he's got. All right, let's see what is next. I guess we can go and put those holographic projectors in. So let's get started on that. Okay, so we're just going to start with the front holo projector here. So it's just held in with these 3 screws. And when you're done, you're only going to end up using this one to hold in the new one. So you can just take all of these ones out. I've already pre-loosened these. So let me just go ahead and take all these out. And I don't know if you even have to take out this one. I did loosen it. It looks like that screw holds in not only the holo projector, but it also holds in his eye, the red and blue eye on the front of his face. So let me see if this will just slide out. Okay, let me see. Pardon my reach there. Let me see if this just slides. Oh no, I'm going to have to take that out. I'm not even sure how that's held in there. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll have to take that one out too. All right, let me get that one out of there. All right, now since that screw holds in both his red and blue eye and this piece, this one overlaps the holo projector. So you're going to have to kind of, see if I can do this without my arm getting in the way. Let me turn it this way. You're going to have to kind of lift that off and put it underneath. So this has got to go underneath the, let me see if I can zoom in on here. All right. Sorry about this really amateur photography. Okay, so you're gonna have to pull this out a little bit. Since this screw can pivot on this, you're gonna have to pull this out a little bit so you can get the top part of this to come off, and then from there you can just kind of knock this loose. All right, and so there's that piece right there. And then you can put the screw back on. You can push this back, and you can put the screw back on for that one. Okay, so I ended up taking this screw back off because I realized that it kind of gets in the way when you're trying to put the lens piece on. So here is the new lens piece, and as you can see, it looks very, very nice. This looks so much better than the one that was on there. I just used some Tamiya paint for the hood here, just a Tamiya primer, a couple coats of primer, and then a couple coats of matte black Tamiya. It looks really good. The lens looks really nice. I hot glued, you can see in there, just like 4 corners of it to make sure the lens doesn't pop in, you know, by pushing in, by accidentally knocking it in there, just to kind of hold it steady. Okay, now you'll notice there's an arrow right here. Now, according to Matt's instructions, you want to have that side over here on this part over here. You'll notice that there's a flat spot here and one on the other side here. And that's because that's what's going to lock it in place. So you're going to put it in and you're going to turn it. And then this little ridge right here is what's going to catch behind this. There's like a little space between the side of the dome and that little screw hole thing. So let me see if I can do this. Now that I got that screw out of the way, it's a lot easier because I was trying to do this earlier. All right, so I'm sorry if my arms are getting in the way. So you want the flat part to go here, like this, and you push it in, and then you're going to turn this so that the little ridge gets caught on there. So let me push it in like this, and then you just turn it. Give it a twist. Sorry if my arm is in the way. I can't see what I'm doing. So you're going to twist that till it locks in place. So let me turn it better. Okay, so there we go. Now you can see how this lip right here is going behind this piece here. That's what locks it in, and same with this side. Now you just got to replace the screw for here and here. So let me get that on there. Okay, so I went ahead and got it in there. Now, I didn't even have to put the screws all the way down because these are flanged screws, and the flange is what's holding the whole lens in place. The flange is resting up against the edge here for both sides. So you only have to tighten it down enough to make sure that this thing isn't loose and that it's in there good and tight. And if you want, you can just forget about the screws and just hot glue around the edge and hold it in that way. Just use a low temperature hot glue though, so you don't melt the dome. All right, well, let's see if I can get the other side on there. Okay, now the one on the back should be a little bit easier because you don't have that other eyepiece in the way. I already pre-loosened these screws. So just get the rest of these out of here. Now you're not going to end up using the bottom screw because the eye piece is actually going to cover it. So get that one out of there. So this one here you're not going to use, so you can just kind of forget about putting that one in there. All right, and then this one, oops, I'll get that in a second. So this one should just pop out, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it's snapped in there pretty good. Oh, there we go. All right, I didn't realize those snap in like that. Okay, let me get the other one put on. So I think this one has the same situation where you have that arrow that goes on the right, and once again these little ridges right here go behind those screw prongs or whatever you want to call those things. So you put the flat part in like this, and oh yeah, this one went in a lot easier, and just kind of turn it until it locks in place. In fact, y'all probably don't even need to put the screws back in there, but I'll do it anyway. So let me get those put back on. All right, so here's the one on the top. I already loosened the screws, so this one pops off really easy. You're not going to end up using this screw. So this one here is where you're going to use these little things here. These, I don't know what you call them. They're little fasteners, and that's what's going to hold this one in because, you know, otherwise it'll just drop inside the dome. So let me get all that set up. Okay, so I finally got that on there. I tried filming it, but it was just too hard because it's in a really awkward position. But you can see how those little bracket things actually hold it in place. And it does a really good job. So you're only going to need the ones on the... Well, you know, he gives you 4 of these. He gave me 4 of them. So I suppose if you want to put the one on that other side, you can go ahead and do it. But in his instructions, he just used 2. And that is a good, solid thing right in here. So... yeah, you don't have to worry about it. All right, well, let's see if I can get the restraining bolt put in place. Okay, so now this part is pretty easy because you're just going to attach the magnet. So the restraining bolt goes on the front part of R2 on that rectangular shaped panel. That's where the Jawas put it. So I kind of measured where it's going to go, and then I marked where the magnet is going to go on here. So as you can see there, there's a mark. So this just comes with the double stick tape. So we'll just take that off. Make sure you put it on the right side, by the way. So you want to put it on the side that's going to attract. All right, and then let's see if I can get it on here. Let's see, where did I mark it? Right here. Okay, and just push it in place. All right. That's probably the easiest step, thank goodness. All right, so there we go, and the magnet's embedded in the restraining bolt. You just put it right here. It's not super strong, which is good. That way it's not scratching it, but yeah, just goes right there, and there you've got the restraining bolt on R2. Okay, so now we're going to try to fix that shaking dome syndrome that R2 has. So now if I can get the light just right, there's a screw hole here, here, and there. So on each corner, so we're going to have to take the screws out of here. And then once we do, we're going to have to pull this part up while we're holding underneath here, because there's actually a motor under there, the servo. That's what makes his head move back and forth. So let me try to get those screws out and see if we can get all that apart. All right, so I've got them mostly loose. I think this one here on this side and the other one. And then, okay, let me see if I can pull these off now. Let's take a look. Oh, let's see, now it looks like they're still on there. I can't tell which one it is, so you're going to have to be careful. You don't want the motor to fall out. Alright, that one looks like it's out all the way. Oh, well, the screw got stuck on there. I guess they come out. For some reason I was thinking they don't. I thought they had one of those flanges on there that keep them from coming out. So we'll just go and take them completely out. Can't see down in there, so it's a little bit difficult. Let me see if that's loose now. Okay, it looks like it might be. All right, so I think this just pulls off of the motor part. It looks like that one screw is still tight. Okay, let me try to loosen the one over here. All right, so I got that one completely out. Okay, there we go. Ooh, all right, there it is. So this whole thing is one big unit. And keep an eye on the hole that's right here, because that's where the wing nut goes in to fasten the head. You want that to be in the front the way it was originally. Let me put this to the side real quick. And now this part here is the motor. See if I can get this to, oh, there we go. I'm trying to make sure I remember which way everything goes. All right, so here's the motor, so it's going this way, so I got to remember it favors that side. All right, so this piece here is the part that you want to get rid of. That's the part, it looks like it's in where, it looks like there's 3 screws holding it in. So we're going to replace that with this. See how it's similar? So for some reason, I guess this outer frame makes it so that his head doesn't wobble so much. All right, so let me get that piece off of there. Okay, so the middle screw is actually screwed to the motor. So that comes off. Now underneath here, see the little silver round piece? We're going to need that to attach to the new piece. So let me get that out of there. Okay, so apologies for going out of focus when I was doing all that. I can't see what I'm doing, you know, here and then watch the camera at the same time. So apologies for that. So now this is the piece that's going to go in here so the lug part sticks up. You just match up the holes and then we'll just put the screws on the side back in there. Okay, so now I got the metal piece on here. And then this is going to go back on here now. Just like this. And make sure that little lug thing goes on there. See, it probably goes this way. Oh, there we go. I just want it to be more straight. All right, then I'll just put the center screw back in there to hold that in place. All right, so now we can put everything back the way it was. So this goes back under here the same way that it was, and get those lugs through the holes right here. And then this is going to go back on here where you match up that square part there onto this. The hole should go to the front of R2 because that's where his head goes on. Okay, and we're just going to put this in place. And then let's screw all of this back together. Okay, so I got it all back together again. Just in case, don't throw this thing away, just in case you need it, because I'm not sure how strong that 3D plastic is in there, but hopefully I got everything put back right. Hopefully everything's not too tight. All right, well, let me get his head back on, plug everything back in, and we'll see how everything works and how everything looks. Okay, here he is. Finally got everything all complete now. It's taken me days to make this video, so I don't even remember what I filmed earlier, but here we go. I got all of that done now. His feet, the nice silver highlights on there, and those little attachments for the foot hoses, those look really, really good. There is his little restraining bolt, and you can take it off, and you can put it on. It's nice and light, so it's not real heavy on him. There's his cool little lights for the logic lights here. And then look at that. That looks so much better. That made a huge difference for his little holographic projectors here. And I like that these ones are, you know, you can move them just like the real deal. Like I mentioned, these were airplane air conditioners. So this one's a little loose, but if I turn it just the right way, it'll stay where it's supposed to. I'm really glad I painted that shroud black. I just think it looks better. Here's the one on top. And those lenses look really good. I think that just makes it look a whole lot better. You can see the lens on the front of that one. Really catches the light really nice. Here's the one on the back. It's a little dark back here to see. And then I really like that thing. That is very, very cool. That That grill just makes it look a lot better. All right, very cool. And then there's the leg plugs, and then all the silver highlights on the back of his feet too. Okay, well now let's turn them on, and then we'll see if that fixed the head nodding. I hope it did. Okay, so now let me step in front of the sensor. Ooh. Oh yeah, look at that. The head is so much better. Okay, yeah, see, it's not doing that little head nodding thing when he's done doing when he's done doing one of his voice tracks. Oh yeah, it's a much smoother movement. Oh, that is so much better. Let me wave my hand in front of his sensor again here. Oh, that's great. That works really good. I wonder how Matt was able to figure out that piece keeps his head from doing that. I was looking at some other people's R2s on YouTube, and not everybody's has that head nodding problem. It seems like most of them do, but not everybody. So maybe some people have just a better setup on the inside. But yeah, this is fantastic. Oh, he looks so much better. This is a great kit that Junkdroids is offering. So you can get all these nice little parts to make him look better. He just looks so much better. It's the little details that really help him look really cool. Yep, I really like those lights right there. That looks really neat. And I'm assuming somebody's probably going to end up coming up with a lighting kit for those. And I hope it's just something that you can plug into the existing system, so you don't have to do any kind of fancy electrical work. Those, I really like those. Those lenses really make a difference right there. It looks so much better than the old ones. See, do I have the old ones laying around? I'll try to go grab them so we can compare them. That looks fantastic. Ah, so good. That head movement is so much better. I'm glad he's not doing that, because that really bothered me the way he was having that little head bob problem. So much smoother. So here is the old lens versus the new one. Look at what a difference that is. That looks so much better. It looks like it's real metal. So yeah, so Junkdroids is who makes the parts for this. I'll put a link in the description if you want to get this kit. Just make sure that if you want the full holographic projector, you order those, because the kit only comes with, the kit that comes with all this other stuff only comes with the tip. So you're going to have to order these separately. I think it's like, I can't remember what they were. I think it was like $80 with shipping and tax and everything. And Matt is the guy that makes these things, and he makes these, I mean, he sends them out very quick. So yes, I'm very happy with this. All right, well, there we go. Some upgrades. I'm sure people are going to be doing a lot more upgrades with this guy. I'm already seeing people doing all kinds of stuff, but you know, when it comes to a project like this, you just have to kind of draw the line as to how far you're going to go. That was the problem that a lot of people ended up having to deal with when they were building the robot from Lost in Space. I've known some people that are still working on their Lost in Space robot 10 years later because they keep adding stuff to it. But I think this is going to be the maximum stuff that I'm going to do on mine. I just think he looks a lot better, but very cool stuff. All right, so I'll put a link in the description for Junkdroids. This is not a sponsored video for him, but he does have very cool stuff. And if you're still trying to get one of these things, Track-A-Lacquer is your best bet. If you saw my first video, that's how most people are getting these, because that's about the only way you're going to get them. They're still selling like crazy. Oh my gosh, I still get a notification from Track-A-Lacquer that they're available, and then by the time I click on it, they're already gone. All right, well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'd very much appreciate it. And until the next time, I'll see you on the next video. So thank you again, and have a good one.